there's not another fan base like that in the country.
Yeah, and I think you're starting to see the effects of NIL
absolutely.
and the transfer portal.
They are, yeah. I can tell you from experience, nobody ever cared about McNeese basketball. And I'm a pretty negative fan when I'm in the middle of it.
You are a negative fan sometimes.
Sometimes I
the first pass that he threw in training camp was a pick six.
I'm going to throw many of those.
This is the most I've ever been on ESPN in my entire life. Once you busted out laughing.
It was an absolute psychopath who's going to really hit some people in the mouth.
I wonder if did any of this have an effect on him? Did it change him?
It's not only that it's hard to walk a Christian walk without the Holy Spirit, it is impossible to walk the Christian walk without the Holy Spirit. So if you're waiting to get clean before Jesus, I know we say this all the time, but it is so many people walking that where they just think you have to get to a certain place to meet Jesus.
Right now, the whole purpose of this podcast, where it started, was to point people to Jesus.
Faith Under the Lights podcast. Make sure to subscribe and share.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Faith Under the Lights. Good to be back in the seat again and getting this thing rolling again. Got my boy Zach here. Yeah, big Zach. So always good to have him along with us. Just trying to get this thing rolling again. Took a little bit of a break and, had some stuff that we needed to figure out. I'm still trying to learn how to do this podcasting thing. But we do have a couple of good interviews that are on the podcast on the YouTube station. If you want to check those out, we did Travis Adams, who is a ULM baseball signee, state championship baseball player from Sterlington High School. Man, he's got it going on, and he's doing a really good job getting the message of Christ out there. And so if you hadn't seen that, make sure you go check it out. And then we got couple interviews coming up. We got Kane Tomplay. He's a baseball player at Sanamo High School, and so he's going to come on with us this week. So we should have that out the following week.
Go Gators!
Go Gators! That's hard for me to say because I graduated from East Ascension. But what?
I'm not from here either, but I live here now, so I might as well jump on it. Go Gators!
Go Gators! And then we also have on the hook Draven Smith, which I can't wait to get that one on here. College basketball player at Welsh College. He's second team All-American this year. Dude is dynamite on the court, and so he actually played at French Settlement. So got him lined up and just ready to get this thing rolling again. But nevertheless, we got Zach, and we're going to talk about some things that have happened since the last time we did an interview or we did a podcast. And one of the big things was the College World Series. And so just opening thoughts. Obviously, we're Tiger fans. You got the hat on today. LSU brings home number 8, right?
Yes, sir. I think the last time we shot, I think was the opening weekend of baseball season. So we take it pretty serious around here. I think we took off the entire baseball season because it's hard to pull me out of my house on the weekend, man. It's hard because we watch every pitch. My wife is even more in it than I am. I mean, it's in us. You know, we plan dinners around it. We plan everything around LSU baseball, and which is what makes LSU baseball. Yeah. There's not another fan base like that in the country where their lives revolve around baseball season. You know, it's a special thing here. And I mean, it was one of my favorite seasons. Yeah. There was never a time that they were the runaway, clear-cut favorite. But man, they played ball the right way. They played complimentary baseball. I think they only dropped 2 series. I think they dropped to Texas, and then they dropped to Auburn. You know,
Auburn had a decent.
Auburn did have a good. I mean, they were a top 8 national seed. I think they were number 4.
Yeah, and I think you're starting to see the effects of NIL
Absolutely.
and the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Where which makes it even more impressive.
It makes it way more fun too.
It does, because everybody's even now. There's not. If you're a clear-cut, head and shoulders, just always in the mix, you're doing something right, right? And LSU has always been that, but to be that even now, where teams, you don't know who you got year to year, right? And Coach Johnson's kind of figuring out how to manipulate this portal. Yeah,
he's special. I mean, you know, in our time, we remember you always had the Cal State Fullertons. You know, who else? There's several teams in the early 2000s and late 90s, and then coming up before NIL. There was always those teams that Coastal Carolina.
Yeah.
Where they would dedicate almost all of the athletic funds to one sport, kind of like Gonzaga in basketball.
Right.
Like they decided we're going to be good at this one thing. You see it right now in my hometown in McNeese, where they dove into basketball. I mean, I can tell you from experience, nobody ever cared about McNeese basketball. Right. I grew up 10 minutes away from the arena. I didn't go. Nobody went. The Will Wade brought that culture over there. But obviously NIL played a big deal in that. What's going to be interesting is this year with the rev share and Congress moving in on NIL and regulating it to certain things, so where you won't see the Bryce Underwood effect again, right? Which was a blessing in disguise to LSU, but you won't see that. But with baseball, I think with the rev share, teams are and universities are going to have to decide what sports do they care about the most.
Yeah.
I think they've already dedicated 75% of the rev share to football at LSU this year, which is needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it cuts roster space down and everything. So as much as I'm not, and I think we have similar views on this, we want the kids to get paid.
Yeah.
I mean, the kids deserve to get paid.
Absolutely.
They bring in so much money to those universities. They deserve to see some revenue share off that. But it does need to be regulated because they are kids. And it's – you seen it with the guy from Tennessee. His family got way too involved and got the kid kicked off the football team. It's all about money, and it's as much as I'm not crazy about the Arch Manning situation, I do respect that his family is looking to the future and not the today.
Yeah.
So it makes it fun. It makes it interesting. It can be aggravating. But I do think it leveled the playing field in baseball this year, and you saw that.
And so just staying on this NIL stuff, I see both sides of it. A guy like Arch Manning, I mean, money's not really a big deal.
Yeah, not a big deal.
But you get a guy that
has a kid or something,
or he grew up homeless. Yep. I mean, there's a guy that got drafted that was homeless for a long time.
Yep.
And so
it's a blessing, man, and it can also be what leads him down the wrong road. I saw one guy from Florida a couple years ago. I don't know if you saw this, but I mean, he signed away like 30% of his royalties once he made it to the league to the NIL fund that supported him while he was at Florida. 30% of his career earnings will go to that. And that's because that certain situation, he didn't have the educated people around him to tell him no.
Yeah.
So I as much as I am not advocating for Congress to get involved in anything, if it's going to be somebody needs to jump in there and protect these kids from themselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're vultures. A lot of they're vultures that are feeding off of these kids, and they need some protection.
I believe that.
As long as LSU has more than everybody else, though, we're good.
I'm with you. Jumping back into the CWS, one of the things that impressed me the most about LSU's run starting in the postseason when they only lost to one team. It was Arkansas Little Rock got us at home.
Almost took them out,
right? And then LSU didn't drop a game.
Never again. I don't think they drop another inning really after that. I mean, they dominated.
That 1-2 punch of Anderson and Ianson was crucial, man. And those two guys, obviously we'll talk about them a little bit later, but it was awesome to see them get on the bump. I felt a whole lot of confidence when both those guys were on the hill.
Yeah, there was never a time that I didn't think they were going to win.
Yeah, me neither.
Never. And I'm a pretty negative fan when I'm in the middle of it.
You are a negative fan sometimes.
Sometimes I care a little too much, and I don't let the process play out.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm not on the field. I'm sitting on my couch. But those the guys, and I would say, for the everydayers that would agree with that, is there was a certain stretch where Ianson was better than Anderson.
Yes.
Which is insane to say, but he was, and I think if he was left-handed, they could have went 1-2.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they were the two best pitchers in the country. One of them just happens to be right-handed.
Right.
And they grow on trees. And, the right-handed guys like Ianson, the lefties, you don't see that very often. So they skyrocket. But, I mean, there was a stretch where he put the team on his back.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was, I don't know, you're older than me, a lot older than me, right? Way older than me. But I can't remember a 1-2 punch better. Now, I can say we've had a 1 better, right? Skeens. Yeah. I would say Skeens has had the best season in the history of college baseball, in my opinion. He had like a Joe Burrow type season from pitching. But I don't know if we've ever seen 1-2. I mean, could you imagine coaching against that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there was a time.
Skeens had Floyd, but Floyd was not Einson. Nola went through it. He had Gaussman for a second. They crossed paths for just a second. But even that wasn't as dominant as what we saw this year. Now, last year's starters were really good.
Right.
Not quite this level, but I think they were both second and third round picks, which is nothing to shake a stick at. As Gage Jump and Luke Holman.
Yeah, but it's to have those two guys at the same time in the spot where they're at in their career, doing what they're doing at the same time.
It was special.
That's
and the back of the bullpen. I mean, that was special.
We were talking about this before we turned the record button on. Your thoughts on Cade Anderson and where he stands in LSU's history?
I think, all right, let's put it in context, okay? I think it's undeniable he had one of the greatest seasons in LSU history. I think it's undeniable he had the greatest performance in LSU baseball history on the mound. I mean, everything shy of a no-hitter in the College World Series final. His team had scored one run, and that's all they needed. And he shut the door on him. He didn't need a closer. He didn't need a reliever. And he was in the World Series finals. So I think as long as I've been watching and as long as I can remember, that is the greatest performance in the history of LSU baseball. Yeah. A single person's performance.
I know Brett Laxton had a really good
He had a very similar game.
Yeah.
But it wasn't in the finals, I don't believe. I believe it was in the College World Series, but I don't know if it was in the finals. But I think he had 17 strikeouts or something of that nature. I mean, it was something pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But with all of it on the line, all the marbles there, there's some conversation going around LSU right now about retiring jerseys. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a fun conversation because we've had such a spoil of riches of players that have come through.
Yeah.
Hall of Famers. Soon they will be Hall of Famers. Yeah. I believe that. It's who do you retire?
So who do we have retired right now? You got Bertman, obviously.
Yeah.
You got Ben McDonald.
Yes.
Todd Walker.
Yep.
Eddie Furnace.
That's
the four.
That's it right now.
Okay.
That's all we have.
So who's next?
So the most deserving, the very next one, I think me and you will 100% agree on this. The greatest Tiger in the history of LSU is Dylan Cruz.
I agree.
Hands down, he's the best player to ever come through the program. And I mean, he won a national championship. He won everything a person can possibly win, right? And he won the Golden Spikes. Him and Ben McDonald are the only two that have ever won the Golden Spikes. Yeah. Number 2 in the draft. I think his case is slam dunk. There's nothing else.
They should be building a statue right
100%.
now. 100%.
He needs a statue. He was a 3-year starter, and he changed the program. Because remember when he came here, and the fact that he came here, he's from Florida.
Yeah.
He's not from Louisiana. He came here during the bad Maneri years.
Yeah.
And stayed with Jay Johnson.
Easy on Maneri.
Whatever. It was the bad years. Okay, he had some good ones, but when Cruz came, it was rough, right? So he come from Florida, really helped turn the program around. So I think he's slam dunk. The second one I would say behind him would be Alex Bregman.
I agree with that.
I think in order, the 3 best position players in the history of LSU were Dylan Cruz, Todd Walker, Alex Bregman. I think Furnace got that because he had big pop. He had the big bat, and I mean he crushed some bombs.
Yeah,
got to give it what it is.
Hit for a pretty high average too.
Yeah, I also think he could lose his jersey because his son went to Ole Miss. So
yeah, it's tough.
That's a problem. You're not raising your kids the right way if that's happening.
Listen up, Eddie.
Yeah, so but I would say those 3 guys. Walker already there as far as position players go, and then you dive off into pitchers. And we were kind of talking about
that's where it gets dicey.
It is kind of talking about this. We know that the one obvious everybody's going to bring up is Paul Skeens.
Right.
Okay. But if you put Paul Skeens in, how do you not retire Cade Anderson?
I agree with that.
Because the seasons were similar. Now, he didn't have the strikeout numbers, but Paul Skeens also didn't pitch against Florida in the College World Series final.
Yeah.
Now, his performance against Wake Forest in 23 might be the second best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because he held him scoreless for 9 innings. I mean, it was phenomenal.
And then he also, in that game, the Wake Forest pitcher, Louder, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was probably the best college baseball game I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Even though there was no runs until Tommy White hit the bomb, the defense was the Trey Morgan bunt. I mean, it was so many plays that just had you on the edge, And so that was a fantastic performance. But the one name that nobody brings up is Aaron Nola.
Yeah.
For 3 years, Aaron Nola was the most dominant pitcher in college baseball. Yeah. He just was. And he is, over that time frame, he's the most dominant pitcher career we've ever had. Even Ben McDonald got rocked before he got really good. Yeah. Aaron Nola never got rocked. So who I would say, first and foremost, Cruz. Second, Bregman. Third, Nola. And then if you want to put in Skeens, then you got to put in Anderson. I think those, and if you're going to put in, honestly, this might be a little controversial, but if you're going to put in Furness, you might as well put in Bear Jones too.
Oh, I don't know how many people
I don't know why.
Agree with that.
He's a 2-time national champion, right?
Yeah.
He's second all-time in home runs in LSU history, third all-time home runs in LSU history, right? I mean,
his numbers are there.
His numbers are, he passed Brad Cressy in all-time home runs. I mean, he passed Dylan Cruz in the home runs.
I'm solid on Cruz and Bregman. I'm solid on those. I'm okay with putting Skeens in, and I'm okay with Cade Anderson. If you go with Skeens, I can't see how you can't go with Anderson with the way that those two seasons went. I'm gonna pump the brakes on Bear Jones, but that's just
I'll pump the brakes on that too.
Yeah.
But what about Nola? Is it just because he's forgotten about for some reason?
Maybe so. Maybe because
if you went back and looked at the stats, I bet you change your mind.
I think you would too. But I think it's sort of like when you talk about the greatest of all time in NBA basketball, you got Jordan way over LeBron because the rings.
I would say on the eye test,
yeah,
and the rings, right? But at the same time, Nola brought him to the College World Series twice. Yeah, you know, they lost to Florida, and who else? They lost to. I think he was the pitcher when they lost to Stony Brook, but I don't think he pitched against them. Yeah, I think they pitched off.
Oh, yeah. So that's
great careers, man. It's fun to talk about.
No doubt.
Hey, they all deserve it.
It's good to be in a position where we can talk about that.
Man, they all deserve it. I mean, you can't be upset. I mean, even if a guy like Cade Savick got it or something like that, you know, just a solid dude, local guy, turned the program around, was a steady rock. I mean, you want to see it for those guys, but, you know, I think there's some clear cut that deserve it.
Yeah. One of the names that I want to bring up is a guy that's there now that I think is the next great one. And so who am I talking about?
Derek Curiel.
Derek Curiel, man.
The only problem is he's going to be gone this year.
Why
he's going to be a draftable sophomore.
Oh, okay.
So he only have 2 years. He won't break the numbers.
Yeah.
Now, I would agree with you on that. I've never seen a freshman better. I will say when I saw Dylan Cruz in person the first time, I said that's the best baseball player I've ever seen in person. Yeah. It was raw, but it was real. Like you could tell. And I think sometimes that talent jumps off to you. You know, nobody really talked about him a whole lot, but I was a big Josh Smith guy when he was at LSU.
Who's he play for now?
Yeah, you know who he plays for. He plays for the team in like 4th place in the AL West. But he, you know, you see that talent jump off, and Curiel's talent is just it's off the charts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
and
off the charts.
He's cerebral, man. Like he's
focused.
Yeah, he's always locked in. So I'm excited that we get to watch him for a little while.
Yeah, for sure, man. Even though he's only going to be going this year.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking in hyperbole. I mean, but I don't think there's a chance we see him for 3 years.
No, not if he gets drafted in top 5.
He's so good. He's going to keep gaining weight. He's locked in. He's got a good head on his shoulders. Obviously, a very strong faith, and I think he is absolutely special. And I think it'd just be cool just to see him come through LSU for a few years.
Yeah, no doubt. And then the last thing we'll talk about, and we'll put a bow on this LSU stuff, is Jay Johnson, man. He's setting himself up to be in the Skip Bertman talk, right? The way that he does things. And I mean, you look at the roster that we had last year and what we lost, and then you're looking at what's coming back, like what he's doing in the portal and recruiting wise. And there's kids that are not going into the draft to come play at LSU. He knows how to do this. He knows how to set his roster up, and then he's such a great in-game coach. And now he knows what it takes to win. You know, he's got 2 in a very short period of time, and he knows what it takes to get to Omaha and win in Omaha. And I think it's going to be some rinse and repeat.
Yeah, I don't think that gets enough respect because, in my personal opinion, for a long time, I think a lot of people, since Skip Bertman left, I think you would say Tim Corbin's probably the best coach in baseball because of Vanderbilt's long run. And then next, I would say Dave Van Horn at Arkansas.
Yeah.
I mean, they were there every single year,
It's
and they
heartbreaking.
just can't get it done.
And it's always some crazy
It's something
thing.
crazy that always happens, but at some point you got to wear it. You know, it's unfortunate because I think he's a phenomenal coach, and I don't see him make the wrong moves. Yeah. It's just, man, we are very, very, very blessed in baseball. It doesn't make sense. But, man, we are very blessed in this one particular sport. Yeah. And I think we should appreciate that. Yeah. And, yeah, I think Jay is well on his way. When you think of how long Maneri had and he got one, and as great of a coach as he is, I mean, I hate on him all the time, but it's playful. He has forgotten more about baseball than I'll ever know. Yeah. But he only got one. Yeah. And in 4 years, Jay's already passed him up. Yeah. And that's pretty special, especially in today's era. Yeah. And one other thing on Jay Johnson, I wanted to talk about this. The number one overall prospect in MLB right now that's not in the big show is Connor Griffin, who was signed to LSU. So Jay is swinging for the fences. Yeah. You know, he knew he wasn't going to get this kid. I mean, he's a freak show out of Mississippi. But there's so many kids that you don't see make it to campus. I think they lost 8 high school kids to the draft this year. I mean, he is going out. He's swinging for the fences, man. And he's giving it all he's got. And he's getting Derek Curiel was supposed to go to pro. Yeah. William Schmidt was supposed to go pro. There was no way that those kids were going to hit a college campus. Yeah. And we got them. Even Cason Evans. Yeah. A lot of people thought he was number one shortstop in the state of Texas.
It's pretty insane. And I think the NIL stuff helps that because they can come here and they can make a lot of money while they're playing baseball. And it's proven. I mean, you look at all these guys from the SEC that are getting drafted, they go into the mine. They don't stay there long. White Langford, Dylan Cruz, Skeens. They ain't staying there long. The kid that just went bananas for the A's over the Astros a couple days ago and went 6 for 6 and hit 27,000 RBIs. You know, they're coming in and they're getting through and they're in the show really quick. So.
I mean, we had. I know we're about to put a button on. We have 4 guys going the top 100 picks. In Anderson, Shores, Ianson, and Fry. And then Danny Dickinson, who I think was one of the heart and souls of the team. Oh, I thought getting him out of the portal was a slam dunk.
Didn't he play the entire postseason
with a broken hand? Yeah. I think he broke it the first game against Arkansas Little Rock.
What an animal.
Absolute savage, man. You know, so
because you get a hangnail and you say, I can't do a podcast
I won't
today.
go to work. Yeah. I mean, it was a great year. I think number 9's loading.
I think so, too. Don't put too much ink on that billboard they're gonna put out because they're gonna have to update it pretty quick.
That's right. Don't waste too much money on it.
Let's talk about the MLB draft a little bit. MLB draft can get pretty extensive. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it past the first couple of rounds, but LSU did have quite a few in there. But some of the high points that I think interest me the most is number one overall pick to the Nationals, Eli Willits, a shortstop out of Fort Cobb, Oklahoma. This dude don't turn 18 till December, all right? And he's the number 1 pick in the draft. When a lot of people thought that Anderson was going to go number 1, some people were saying that the kid, and I can't think of his name right now, his brother's playing for the Orioles. Holiday, and he was going to be another one. But his kid kind of snuck in and got it, and so he's with the Nationals. Youngest ever first pick. That's pretty
That was
stout.
A big shock, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Cade Anderson was pretty much consensus.
Yeah.
And I think, once again, it's about money. Yeah. All right, that's why Willits got picked. Yeah. I think they just couldn't afford Anderson in the slot value he was going to take. So it's kind of unfortunate for Cade because he lost out on about $4 million. Yeah. It hurts for me to even say. It's like, that's a lot of money. Yeah. But the slot value at the number 1 pick for Anderson was, I think, they said about $3 million or $4 million higher than what Willits got. Yeah. They didn't have to pay a high school kid that much. It's great for him, though. I'm happy for the kid, man. Don't know anything about him. Didn't see a second of his tape before, which is hard to believe in this day and age.
So here's another crazy thing that comes out of draft. I'm gonna rattle this off real quick. Corona High School is in California. They're the California State Championship. They're the number 1 overall team in California, number 4 team in the nation according to Baseball America. These guys had 2 picks in the top 10. Yes. All right. Number 6 pick, Seth Hernandez, a pitcher going to the Pirates. Number 10 pick, Billy Carlson, shortstop going to the White Sox. This is what blew me away. There's they had some poll. It was the top 5 schools with the most top 100 players. University of Tennessee had 6. University of Oregon had 5. LSU has 4. Corona High School sneaks in there with 3, and then Arkansas has 3. So that's crazy in and of itself. But the third one outside of these 2 draft picks is outfielder Anthony Murphy, who's a perfect game 10. Guess who he's committed to? The LSU Tigers. And so that's if he doesn't get drafted. So I thought that was nuts that a high school had 2. Could you imagine being, a pitcher or a hitter for a team that's going to play Corona High School, and you got to pass this algebra test, and then at 3 o'clock you got to go play these guys?
It wouldn't be a big deal for me because I was going to flunk algebra anyway. So if you pick another subject, maybe. Yeah. But algebra, I'm just going to go ahead and worry about the game. Try to get some extra credit.
Touché, when I got that.
Where I grew up, if you bring your teacher a good passel load of clean ducks, cleaned and picked ducks and duck breasts, you'll get some extra credit.
Okay.
So in the country schools, young men, if y'all listening, go out and shoot you a limit of ducks and bring it to whatever teacher you're struggling, or some frog legs, something of that nature, and you'll be all right.
So it's not an apple anymore. Bring some duck legs.
Depends where you live. Depends where you live.
Yeah. Any other highlights from the draft that you want to touch on?
I'll just, if I could for just a second, I just want to run through the LSU guys because that's a big deal for us, right? Cade Anderson, number 3 to the Mariners, which I think is the best place he could have landed in the league. I think it really, because the Mariners put out some arms.
Yeah.
They mold and make some phenomenal pitchers. I mean, they're built off defense and pitching. I love that because I got scared for a second because the second pick went to the Angels. And we watched them waste 2 of the greatest talents that's ever walked the face of the earth in Trout and Ohtani. Number 47 overall is Chase Shores to the Angels. Unfortunate, but we'll see. Maybe somebody will pick him up soon. Ianson to the Red Sox at 87. Ethan Fry to the Astros at 95. Big one right there. Yeah, it's going to be cool. Daniel Dickinson, 185 to the Brewers. Bear Jones, 263 to the Pirates. Jacob Myers, hometown Santa Maula boy. Boston Red Sox. He'll have to change his accent up there. Cade Woods, who nobody saw play this year, by the way. He pitched like 2 innings.
That's crazy.
Still got drafted. He got drafted 307 to the Braves. Pretty good landing spot right there. And then Connor Ware, 15th round, number 463 to the Mets. So that was your drafted Tigers. I think we so far Stanfield's returned. Zach Cowan has returned. So you got 2 returning guys who could have went in the draft and they ended up coming home. So
and that's Stanfield when coming back. That's awesome.
Those are both huge. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about back of the bullpen and, I mean, a proven outfielder in the SEC.
All right, so that's the MLB draft. Let's shift over to, and change balls here. Let's go with the football and talk about the NFL draft. Some of the things that I personally something that jumped off the page to me. Cam Ward has got to be the least talked about number 1 quarterback pick in the history of the draft. And
absolutely. And I think he's a slam dunk.
I do too. And I think it works so much in his favor that nobody's talking about it. He's like off the radar. And he's going in Tennessee. They ain't got much. He's probably running for his life. But I look for big things to come out of him. What jumps off the page with him and some of the videos and interviews that I've seen is the humility that this kid has.
And the focus.
Yeah.
He is not worried about the other stuff.
He's just locked in. So
he knows he has to be good at this one thing first before any of those other things matter.
Yeah.
I think he's made up of the right stuff.
I do too. Another thing that jumped off for me, Will Campbell, obviously, Tiger. It went number 3 to the page. Yeah. They got a dog, bro. I think he is a future. It's hard to say it, man, but he's just got the makeup. If he stays
healthy, he's got the makeup and the talent.
And the way that he answers the questions in his interviews, bro, I could watch Will Campbell interviews.
Yeah. He's definitely from Louisiana.
Yeah, all the time.
I don't know how familiar everybody is with North Louisiana people, but that's how they are.
Yeah.
And I rock with those people. I enjoy them.
A couple of guys I'm excited to see. I want to see what the Jags do with Travis Hunter. I want to see if
that's going to be interesting.
If he can do what he did at Colorado in the NFL.
I'll say no.
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
I'll put that take out there.
Yeah. So you're going no.
I just don't see how it's humanly possible to cover Tyreek Hill and then get covered by Jalen Ramsey. Good luck, dude. I mean, you can do it in college at Colorado. And I'm not hating on the kid. I think he's a great kid. I think he's got great makeup. I think he is one of the most phenomenal talents we've ever seen. He took what Primetime did to another level, but at the same time, he did play at Colorado and Jackson State. He never played against any elite talent. Not one single elite wide receiver and not one single elite cornerback ever covered him. So when he goes, he is going against the absolute best of the absolute best. I mean, could you imagine trying to cover somebody on a go route after you or covering Jamar Chase on a go route after you just ran 10 plays on offense?
Yeah.
Good luck, brother. I mean, hey, if you can do it, more power to you. I'll tip my cap, but it's hard to see.
Another guy I'm anxious to see. I want to see what old Ashton Genty's going to do with the Raiders. Oh, yeah. I like his style. And I think that that's Pete Carroll over there with the Raiders. I think maybe you see, yeah. So might see something exciting coming out of there. I want to see what Jackson Dart does with the Giants. And guess who he's throwing to? Malik. Old neighbor. So there's the LSU Tiger that's going to be getting some darts from Jackson Dart. Although the first pass that I didn't do that on purpose either. The first pass that he threw in training camp was a pick six.
He's going to throw many of those. It's the Giants, man. I mean, look, as a former Patriot fan when Brady was there, I hope they lose every game. Yeah. And he's a quarterback from Ole Miss. I don't want to see him win.
I was hoping the Saints were going to.
I know it's a Christian podcast, but I'm going to keep it real. I do not care if the Giants ever win another game, and for sure if their quarterback's from Ole Miss.
Yeah.
That's just where I land, dude.
Last one I got on my list, Jahdae Barron, a cornerback that's going to the Broncos from Texas. Very outspoken about his faith, man. Yeah. And he's got a couple interviews, post-game interviews, where he just stood on business and talked about.
He's a dog, too.
Yeah, and he's a dog. So anxious about. I want to see what those guys can do. What about you? The Saints drafted a quarterback. I don't know what his name is.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, but he just signed $10 million contract. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. You can only go up from where they're at.
I think they're going to go after Nussmeier next year, and they should. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, it's a good experiment if you want to try.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's get real.
Yeah. Who are you most excited?
I mean, honestly, for one thing, I want to really see how Travion Henderson does, the running back from Ohio State, the Jesus One guy. Yeah. I think he was phenomenal. Yeah. Absolutely phenomenal. I think he's going to do big things. I think he's going to be great. I'm very interested in Will Campbell as well. I just think he's going to be that franchise guy. You know what? He'll turn into one of those offensive linemen that nobody talk about because there's no reason to talk about him. And that's how you become a Hall of Fame offensive lineman, that there's no reason to talk about you. You're not a problem. You're solid. You're there. And he's obviously got the right makeup. Yeah. A big one for me, I want to see how Mason Taylor turns out. I think Mason Taylor's the best tight end to ever come through LSU. Yeah. Some of the biggest moments we've ever had. If there's ever been a kid with the right makeup, it's Mason Taylor.
Did you know that's Jason Taylor's son?
Yeah, absolutely. I heard it every single time he was on the field. Kind of like, what was his name? Kramer Robertson being Kim Mulkey's son.
Hey, while we're talking about that, let me tell you a quick story. So we got tickets into one of the lower boxes at an LSU baseball game when Kramer was playing. And I looked behind me, and Kim Mulkey's sitting right behind me. And so that was one of those deals. If LSU was on TV, they were showing Kim Mulkey in the crowd. Yeah. So look, I looked back behind her. I said, Coach Mulkey, I said, this is the most I've ever been on ESPN in my entire life. Well, she busted out laughing. She goes, I don't know how they find me. I'll sit way up there and I'll sit way up. They find me every single time.
Well, if she's wearing a purple peacock to the game.
But she was like in a she was dressed down, had a hat on.
Yeah. She was always on that camera,
look,
man.
She's cool as a fan, bro. She is.
Unless you play for her.
Yeah.
You will catch some fire.
You're right.
She's fun. But yeah, I mean, as far as pro goes, those are the guys I'm looking at. I want to see Will Campbell and Mason Taylor translate to the pros. I'm into the and Travion Henderson, and also if I had to pick a Giant to watch, I'm gonna watch old Scattaboo and see what he does. Yeah. I think he was one of the funnest players I've seen in college in a while.
Yeah, he was a little bulldozer.
He was fun, man. He about drug Arizona State to that playoff win. I mean, He's a dog, bro.
Who's the team that's going to walk away with the trophy this year? Who do you think in NFL?
Oh, I mean, it depends on injuries.
But
if as long as it don't go to Kansas City, I'm good. I really think for this year, man, it's Lamar Jackson's turn. He's got to make it happen. The Bengals are a dumpster fire. They do not deserve Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. They just do not deserve them. I mean, their first-round draft pick just walked away from the team.
They signed him.
Finally?
Yeah, they finally signed him. Because he was going back to Texas A&M.
How embarrassing is that?
Yeah, he was going back to Texas A&M, and they finally inked him. Actually, right before we got on, I wanted to check that while we were talking about the draft, and they did.
Because that's a shame.
Yeah.
That's a shame. So
they're known for that, though.
The Bengals are just too far away in every other place. I think they got top 3 quarterback, the best wide receiver, and then it's a long distance between that and everybody else on the team. Yeah. You can only go so far.
I got the Buffalo Bills. Bills.
Yeah, I mean, it's their time too.
I think they're going to be the team that
I think Kansas City takes a step back.
Yeah,
it's only a matter. You can only do it for so long. What the Patriots did for so long, it's the absolute outlier and anomaly in all of sports. Yeah. Nobody does that.
I don't feel that right.
It's not baseball where you can go spend the most money like the Dodgers or the Yankees and go buy a World Series. You can't do that in football. Yeah. It comes in waves. And when you got to start paying those guys, you start losing those guys. Mm-hmm. And I think the decline of Kelsey over the last year really hurt Kansas City.
Thank you, Taylor Swift.
Amen. Thank you, Taylor. Yeah, you seen his haircut and everything. Yeah, he is a completely different dude. I laughed so hard, man. He's a Swiftie hard. The Eagles are still the best team, but to repeat, good luck. Yeah. I don't think the odds are in their favor. Saquon he could probably do it if he stays healthy.
Now, our favorite thing to talk about, and our favorite, the one thing that really gets our heartbeat going is college football coming up. Really fired up about college football coming up. Mostly fired up about the LSU Tigers. I got the best quarterback in the country. Absolutely. Old Garrett Nussmeier. I am the most excited about LSU. The thing that I'm most excited about is Weeks and Perk on the defensive side of the ball. How do you scheme against those two guys? Not to mention what they have in front of them and behind them, but those two guys, Perkins coming screaming with his hair on fire. I think this year it happens. And then what Weeks did last year to put him in the position he's in, and I'm looking forward to seeing those two guys on defense.
Yeah, you'll see Perkins, everything I'm hearing, you'll see Perkins in what they call the star position, which is more of the just go around and follow the ball. Pretty much is going to be like a joker spot, where he will drop in coverage. He'll also blitz off the edge. He'll blitz up the middle. He pretty much has free range to do what he wants to do once the offense is set up, right? I think that's phenomenal. He is not an off-the-ball linebacker. Yeah. That is not who that kid is. He is a $50 million defensive end outside linebacker. He is not an off-the-ball linebacker. Yeah. He's just not. Love the kid. He's phenomenal. He's not Patrick Queen. He's not Devin White. That's not who he is. I agree with you 100% on that. I think they're the two guys that make or break this team. I think you have plenty of depth on the defensive line this year. Whit Weeks is probably the best linebacker in the country, and he's coming back because, last year he was just getting into rare form. But, the dude just takes over football games. Yeah. I think Greg Penn had the second most tackles last year, and it was like 40 less than Whit Weeks. He is the anchor of that defense. The big thing is the improvements. We got a guy from Florida State, Patrick Payton. He was their best edge guy. We got Jack Pyburn from Florida, who's an absolute psychopath who's going to really hit some people in the mouth.
I wonder if we paid him the money he was asking for.
I think they just gave – so what I've heard is he wanted – it wasn't so much about NIL. He wanted to go from being a good pass rusher to an elite pass rusher because he's already an elite run stopper. Yeah. So I think he wants to elevate his game, and Florida was really going to ask him to do the same thing that he's been doing. So I think he wanted to change the pace. I'm sure we gave him a few extra bucks. You didn't get him for a discount, but I think he sees the opportunity of who he could be. Yeah. So you got those solid additions in the middle. In the front, and then on the backside, you got number 1 overall cornerback out of high school, DJ Pickett. He's going to see the field a lot. You got P.J. Woodland returning, who I like a lot. He's a little bitty guy, but, man, that dude can ball. Mansour Delane's going to be your other cornerback, from Virginia Tech. Dog, absolute dog. Then they went just pick a safety. I mean, they went. Safety was the worst spot of the team last year, and they have greatly improved that. Just on the defensive side, offense is going to be terrifying.
Yeah. I think that the one spot that you got to sit back and just kind of wait and see what happens is offensive line because of all that you lost.
I think so, but at the same time, they took Tyree Adams last year, right? I mean, this Tyree Adams, and I can't think of the other guy's name right now, but they were both over in the top 100 coming out of high school.
Chester kid,
huh? Maybe
so.
But DJ Chester?
Yeah.
But they were top 100 kids coming out of high school. So it's not like they're –
no, they're not a slouch.
Now, Will Campbell might be the best offensive lineman ever come through LSU, in his time there. But, I mean, you're going to take a step back. But at the same time, we didn't really do anything with that offensive line last year. Yeah. So I think the way is up, man. I think you're going to see Garrett Nussmeier take massive steps this year. I mean, dude, the last two – I don't want to get ahead of myself here, okay? But the last two fifth-year returning starting quarterbacks at LSU won Heisman trophies, and that's Jaden Daniels and Joe Burrow. Yeah. And the one before them was Zach Mettenberger. Yeah. So that's the three best quarterbacks. Maybe Matt Flynn, you could throw him in there too. I mean, he had some great times, obviously. But those guys came back, and when they came back, they were just levels ahead of everybody else. So I think that with the improvement to the receiver room, that's huge. And then Caden Durham doing what he was doing. And good luck. The one thing nobody's talking about, and I think this is the thing that opens the field up where you cannot stop it, is Trey Green. Yeah. He is a freak.
Yeah, he's a freak.
He's a freak. I mean, he's 6'8", 6'9". What is he? Something like that?
He's up there.
And, I mean, he played on the basketball team, which that ain't, that's a bad flex this year. We're not going to talk about basketball, but the fact he could, right? Yeah. And good luck covering that guy. Yeah, I think he opens up everything.
He's like Jimmy Graham.
And realizing Aaron Anderson, probably your best wide receiver last year, is your third option this year.
That's crazy.
It's going to be
a lot of weapons, man.
Brian Kelly better do it this year.
Yeah. I'm looking at the week 1 schedule. Let me rattle off some of these games that are going to happen week 1. You got Texas going to Ohio State. Mm-hmm. LSU's going to Clemson. Yeah. Tennessee at Syracuse, Auburn at Baylor, not a big deal. But then you got Notre Dame going to Miami, Alabama going to Florida State, and there's a lot of heat coming out of that game. They're talking about each other. They're talking to each other.
They hate each other. They were from the same area. Yeah. I've lived there for a time, right in between Tallahassee and Alabama. Yeah. There's a lot of hatred right there.
You get to see South Carolina at Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech at Colorado, so you get the prime effect going right there.
Yeah, I think that effect's just about over.
Just about done, huh?
And I think it's about run its course.
Man, it's a pretty good slate. LSU's struggled winning week 1 games, and they're not taking it easy here. They're going to Clemson. Clemson's going to have one of their better teams that they've had in quite a while. So LSU's got to get over that hump. And the good thing is now with the playoff the way it's set up,
it's not as big a deal.
It's not, but I think. You mentally,
you got to win this game.
You got to win this game,
and I don't think they will.
You don't think they will?
I don't think. Man, that is about as impossible of a win as there is. The only thing I'll say is I would rather play Clemson week 1 than week 9 because Clemson is a lot like LSU. They struggle at the beginning. I mean, they got beat like a drum last year to start the year off. I think it was at Georgia,
something like that.
I mean, they got beat like a drum, man. And then they bounced back and started whipping everybody. They get a lot stronger as they go. Yeah. Under Dabo, it's what it's looked like. I don't ever really see him take off out the gates. Maybe with Trevor Lawrence were, but Trevor Lawrence ain't there. Cade Klubnik is very good. I mean, he's very good. I saw somewhere they have like 5 first-round draft picks projected on their team this year. Guess who doesn't? LSU. We don't have 5 first-rounders projected. Good luck, man. That is a tall. There is no way that game should be on the schedule. And then it's not neutral site. We are going to South Carolina
in the other death.
Oh man, it's going to be rough, man. Yeah. And our track record against Clemson is not great, other than the national championship. They've whipped us a couple times.
I think we get them, man. I think we go over there and we get them.
I'm not a homer, dude. Like, I'm going to try my best to be non-biased.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to be screaming, and I'm going to be so upset if we lose this game. But I just got to be honest. It's going to be the hardest win of the year to get.
I just think some of the clips that I've heard, the interviews that I've heard, the things that some of these players are saying about their focus on this first game, they know that LSU has struggled with the first game of the season the last couple of years. So I think it's a point of emphasis, and I think that this year we get over the hump. And honestly,
that's what scares me, though.
I don't know if I think you put any team in that slot that LSU's playing, I think LSU gets this game won.
It's hard for me because, and the only thing I know, we got to move on from this, but it's going to be really hard if you do lose this game and you put all this preparation and you put everything into this game. You made everything out of this game and you don't pull it off. That's going to be a big psychological effect, man. It is. So I'm just hoping that the Whitweeks of that team, the guys with the grit, the right mindset, can pull their team together and realize, yeah, you got to win week 1, but you also got to win week 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It starts with 1, but, man, there's no way that should be on the schedule. There's just no way that should be on the schedule, man. It's fun to see until we lose it.
Yeah. Well, good. So that's college football coming up, man. I can't wait. I'm excited about it. Is there something you want to talk about? Maybe we could tie some Jesus into it.
Absolutely.
Tie some what you got, Zach?
I like to tie in some stuff with Jesus. I think obviously we kind of buried the lead on a couple things. Whoever is watching, the biggest reason why Cam Ward is the most untalked about first round draft pick ever was because of Shedeur Sanders. Correct. I mean, that is 100% what it is. And it's unfortunate for him. No Shedeur hate here at all. I think he's a great kid. I think he comes from a great stock. I personally feel that Prime might be the greatest player in the history of the NFL because he could do it anywhere. Maybe the most versatile, the way I should put it. Like, nobody like him, right? I don't disagree. Nobody like him. And his dad is one of the greats, raised him to be one of the greats. But unfortunately, the Bible is always true. And pride come before the fall. Now, whether the reports coming out about Shedeur are true or not, where there's smoke, there's generally fire. I don't think that these NFL executives want Prime telling them how to run their franchise, vying for a coaching position or things like that. So it is unfortunate to see it happen to the kid. Personally, I don't know where you land on this, but when you're talking just talent-based, I think he's a second, third-round draft pick. I don't think it jumps off the screen. I think he could easily be a Russell Wilson, right, who comes in, just throws the right balls, dots the I's, crosses the T's. He's never going to blow your mind. He's never going to throw it over the guys' heads, But do I think he can be solid? Sure, I do. But the lesson I think in that, and it's sad for him, but it's great for so many. The lesson in that is we have to stay humble. We have to stay humble and we have to stay grounded. And I know we talk about this on the podcast all the time. Mm-hmm. And don't, just because I'm saying this doesn't mean I don't struggle with humility. Yeah. It's an everyday thing that we have to constantly humble ourselves. When I knew it was going to go south, okay, I knew it was going to go south when I saw the remodel he did to his house. The however hundreds of thousands of dollars he spent to remodel his house for his draft pick. For his draft pick. And had legendary put all over the place. In order to be legendary, you have to have done something. Yeah. There's so many guys who could have been legendary that never cut it, never made it. And it was sad to see the kids fall. But truth be told, we were warned about this in Scripture. And Jesus himself warns us about this in Luke chapter 14. And I'll read this, and then we'll dissect this some. It says, so he told, Luke 14, verse 7, he says, so he told a parable to those who were invited when he noted how they chose the best places, saying to them, when you are invited by anyone to a wedding feast, do not sit down in the best place, lest one more honorable than you be invited by him. And he who invited you and him come and say to you, give place to this man, and then you begin with shame to take the lowest place. But when you are invited, go and sit down in the lowest place, so that when he who invited you comes, he may say to you, Friend, go up higher. Then you will have glory in the presence of those who sat at the table with you. For whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. And I think that was a classic case of not only him exalting himself, but everybody else exalting himself.
Yeah.
When we get down to the real reality, the kid went 14-12 at Colorado. That is not going to blow anybody's mind. He's not a bad prospect, but what they made him believe he was way higher than he really was. And he looked like an absolute fool on television. And it's sad to see that happen to a kid at his age, but he looked like a fool. Now, to his credit, he didn't take it that well the first day. Right? I mean, he said some things, like we know this should have never happened. And what I've learned, what you have learned in the industries that we work in, we don't own the company.
Yeah.
Right? We work for the company. The company decides if we stay, if we go, what they pay us, when we get to work, and do all those things. Until you are a owner of the company, you are subjected to whatever that company decides to do with their product.
Yeah, it's a good analogy.
And that is what it is. And in today's world, people, because, in the travel ball world or whatever, you think because you buy your kid these oven mitts to steal second base, that Jay Johnson is going to call you this weekend. It's a very good chance that's not going to happen. So I hated seeing that for that kid. Hopefully he takes it the right way, because you went. And then another cool thing, I want to say cool, it's sad, but it's, you got to watch these kind of situations and just observe them and see what's going on. The night that he was humiliated, the house was full.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a good point.
Full of people.
Yep.
Why? Because he's about to be a millionaire.
Yeah, they all want to be on
and
TV.
Everybody wants a little taste of the millionaire, right? Then when he goes in the 5th round, it's just him, his brothers, his sister, and a pool. That's all he had.
That's it.
Nobody else around him. Nobody watching the draft with him. Everybody left his side. And then he gets drafted, and God forbid he went to the Cleveland Browns. It just gets rough and rougher on the kid. But, as Christians, I think we should look at this and say, let me sit back and wait for somebody else to exalt me. And like if when you want to do this podcast, right, if I would have said, Nolan, I'm the perfect guy for that slot, that would come off a lot different than you coming to me saying, Zach, I think you're the perfect guy to fill this slot. Yeah. So it's just because it might feel like it's the right thing for you to do, let others exalt you into the place. Don't exalt yourself. Take the low road. Don't build a room that says legendary all around it. In imagery, right? Don't do that to yourself, because it's going to be humiliating.
It's going to be interesting to watch his path and what happens with all that. Did any of this have an effect on him? Did it change him? We don't know. So I can be honest with you, I hadn't paid too much attention to it. I do know that I think he got put up on a pedestal. And I'll reserve my expert opinion until I see him. There's got to be some proof, because like you said, what he did at Colorado, it doesn't really jump off the page.
Neither did what Josh Allen did at Wyoming. There's a lot of guys that some of the best quarterbacks in the league, nobody knew about. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You didn't know about these guys. Nobody knew about those guys. So he could be one of those. Yeah. But it's on him to do that.
Yeah, so I'll see I'll just sit back and watch what happens. In the past I'd have pulled against a guy like this, but as I've grown in my faith, I can't pull against him. I hope that he works out, and I hope it changes. But yeah, it's been a crazy thing to watch.
Yeah, it went from I'll be honest and say I don't want to see him go in the first round. Like that's where I was at. Yeah. And I kind of laughed a little bit, and then I really felt bad. Yeah. And I watched this kid be humiliated over and over and over. And I was like, all right, somebody pick the kid. Yeah. For the love of God. He is an NFL player. I will say that. Somebody pick the kid. Yeah. It really got heartbreaking. I just hope he takes it the right way.
That is crazy, to what you said about the people that were there around him the first night. hooping and hollering and then the next day it's almost nothing. So, and I almost guarantee you that most of those people that were there, they probably weren't with him when he was putting in all the work to get to the level he was at. So, so that's a good thing. Good analogy. I like what you said about the whole, where we work at. Cause, I got, let go. I was with a company for 8 years and in a 2-minute phone call got let go. And so that's been quite a process. I did get a job though. So I'm doing pretty good with that. One of the things I want to talk about is 2 Corinthians 6, verse 2. It says, "For he says, at a favorable time I listened to you, and on the day of salvation I helped you. Behold, now is the favorable time. Behold, now is the day of salvation." And so if you're listening to this right now, the whole purpose of this podcast, where it started, was to point people to Jesus. And there's never a better time than right now. If you hadn't committed your life to Christ, right now is the time to do it. There's nothing that can keep you from doing that. You don't have to get to a certain level to say, okay, I'm good enough to do it now. No, Jesus wants all your mess right now. And he wants you to give your life to him and start following him, and he's going to clean you from the inside out. You've had that happen to you. I've had it happen to me. And there's a lot of people out there, man, that are hurting, and they don't have Jesus, and just being a good person isn't good enough, right? And so there's never a better time than right now. So that's what I wanted to bring up. So you got anything else? Any lasting thoughts?
Just off what you said, man, because that always strikes to our core. As people who go out, and I think me and Nolan's biggest passion speaking is to minister to the lost and get people saved. That is what we really care about at the core of who we are. And that is always the response. I'm not good enough. I've done this. I've done that. My pastor pretty well this morning. It's not only that it's hard to walk a Christian walk without the Holy Spirit. It is impossible to walk the Christian walk without the Holy Spirit. So if you're waiting to get clean before Jesus, I know we say this all the time, but it is so many people walk in that where they just think you have to get to a certain place to meet Jesus. That's not where he's at. That's not where he's waiting for you to end up. He's not at some placeholder in your Bible. He's not at some placeholder in life just waiting on you to, once you get to this level, Jesus is waiting on you. No, he'll come down to the worst of the worst and get you right, because that is the whole purpose of his life, death, and resurrection, was so that he could do what you can't. So just accept that and just be okay with living in the finished work of Christ.
Amen. Good deal. All right. Well, so a couple things that are coming up. We are going to start recording more episodes of the Playbook, which I'm super excited about that. That's our Bible study version of this podcast. And so it'll be Zach, myself, and we'll always have a guest on with us. We don't know who that's going to be. Last time we got this really ugly guy, Cole. Yeah. And so he may come back. We don't know.
No, we got rid of him.
Okay. But the Playbook's coming up. We'll start cutting episodes of that pretty soon, and we're just going to pick up where we left off. We're in Matthew. And so the Playbook, and then we also got that interview coming up with Kane Tomplay, which I'm really excited about, and Draven Smith is on a hook as well. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, follow, whatever it is. The more you comment, the more you interact with the podcast, the better it gets put out there so others can see it. So help us grow by commenting, sharing, liking, all the good stuff. So
you ain't even got to watch it.
You don't have to watch it. It is good if you do watch it, though. If you watch it and you watch it all the way to the end, that actually helps the algorithm, so it pushes it out there. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. It's Faith Under the Lights. This is Zach. I'm Nolan. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Faith Under the Lights podcast. Make sure to subscribe and share.